Hello, everybody. This is Joe. How's everything going? I am at my office in Whittier here. I'm at 949-439-0383. I'm here to talk to you about what? Hashtags today. We're going to talk about some important hashtags because what we're doing here as real estate agents, we're trying to meet with you so we can help you sell your house, have you buy a house, have you help somebody else buy a house, or just give you some information about the real estate industry. But now take a look at this here. It used to be you send out letters, but you can still do. Get on the phone, you can still do that. Send text, you can still do that. But now it's on social media. Now, doing research and knowledge of the business and how things work, almost every single person who buys a house now under the age of, say, 60, even I'm 66, would use what? The internet. Okay? Well, they use the internet to look for real estate. But they want to combine it, slow it down. They want to tighten it up a little bit. So, what are you looking about? Let's look at these hashtags here. Real estate. Okay, that's just common. Dream home, home for sale, just listed, house hunting, realtor life, real estate investing, property for sale. Now, the thing about this is here, all these tags mean certain things. Okay, now if you go to real estate, you're going to find everything about real estate. Everything is investing, buying, selling, owning, everything about the real estate business and the real estate industry if you go to just real estate. But if you move on to other levels like luxury real estate, now, California, that's where I'm at, what price point is luxury? What is, you can own a home worth $400,000 or $200,000 in a gated community in front of a golf course or in front of a waterfront or whatever. That's luxury real estate. Luxury real estate does not mean price point. It means where you live. But luxury usually says as a price point. Dream home, we're looking for a house. So who's gonna hashtag dream home? Buyers. Sellers are not gonna hashtag a dream home unless they're trying to sell their house as a dream home. That's for buyers. That's for somebody looking to new home buyers, moving up. They used to be renters. They wanna move up into a home. So looking for the dream home. A dream home could be anything. That's a dream home could be somebody's converted van, or a dream home could be a mobile home. Your dream home does not specifically mean luxury real estate. As a dream home could be anything, man. Home for sale, obviously that's a home buyer. Home listed, house hunting, realtor life. That's like me. Open house. That's like me. Okay. Now you can hashtag open house to look for open houses. Or you can hashtag realtor life, like how I do my business every day. Because when I do my business, I want you to know what I'm doing out there. What it means is what I do as a daily agent during my days at work. You're doing these couple of things. I'm texting people, sending them my Savvy card. A Savvy card is SAVVY card. That is a digital business card. 949-439-0383. I'd be happy to send you it. Property for sale, real estate investing. Each one of these people, that do these certain hashtags do it for certain reasons. Okay? If you're house hunting, you're gonna like dream home, home for sale, just listed, house hunting, things like that. Open house, property for sale. But see, when you get these hashtags and this type of things, you're at a level way up here, okay? You got to get down here if you want to look for certain things, okay? Now, here's like location, Texas homes, Chicago realtor, Miami real estate, San Francisco. So what you do, you could put your location in, okay, where you want. But you could also do this. You could also go to Toll Brothers and all these other DR Homes, DR Horn, all these different home builders, and go to their hashtag theirs. So they have brand new, out of the box, brand new homes, brand new communities, brand new homes. The main thing about this stuff is what you're looking for is what you're using hashtags and all this stuff to look for and purchase and or sell real estate or have knowledge of real estate. Now here's the thing. Each one of these programs, like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Now I do have a Twitter account and we will use that occasionally. I have an Instagram. And here's the thing about this is, Instagram, I have a LinkedIn account also. But here's the thing is, what you want to do is, like I said here, you want to make sure that when you're doing your hashtags or whatever you're doing, you want to tie things in. Like say, for example, you are in Downey, California, for example, and you want to live in Downey, you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, no more than a $2,000 monthly payment, excluding taxes and all that stuff. Okay? So first thing you do is, what are you going to do? Let me give you an idea of what to do. What are you going to do? You want to live in Downey, $2,000 a month mortgage payment, excluding taxes, 3 and 2, and you want to work in that area. Okay? So what you're going to do? You're going to go to Downey Homes. You're going to go to all the search engines like Zillow, whatever. Just type in Downey Homes, or you can go 949-439-0383 and talk to Joe Padovich, which is me. Will help you find that home you want. You don't want a pool. So what you can do is you can look at Zillow, you can look at Griffin. All these things are online. They're free to look at. Everything's showing you right there. It shows you what you want, what you don't want. It's right there. But you can expand a little more. Hashtag open house. You put the hashtag open house, okay? There you go. And you'll find and you go through the open house and you see Downey. Okay, Downey, okay, here's one. House hunting. Okay? So if you're going to take your I'm trying to make myself bigger than okay. If you're gonna look for a real estate in the city of Downey, or wherever city you're at, or wherever location you're at, use those hashtags. Look for them. Maybe you want to live by a park. Maybe you want to live in a community where there's get together, good school. Maybe some people want to look at the school districts. They want to look at that. They want to look at the school districts. Look at the school, hashtag the school district. Hashtag LAUSD or Irvine School District. Hashtag the school district. Hashtag the community. What you do with these hashtags is going to tighten your place of who you want to be. Okay? You want to be in Downey, like we're talking about. Hashtag things in Downey. Okay? Hashtag Downey Real Estate. Downey Realtor. Downey Community. Downey Real Estate Trends. Realtors in Downey. What we want to do here, the important thing about it is we want to use hashtags in a way that's not only going to bring me to you, but you to the home you want, you're looking for. Because the important thing is when you're looking for a house, a home, you want to take point A to point Z. You want to get all that together. And the point A is what? Knowing what you want. And some people's point A could be something else, but knowing what you want. So when you're looking, you want point A to be. Point A is I want to be in City Downey. Point B is I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Point C is I want to pay $2,000 a month. Point D is I want to have it where I can drive 20 miles to 30 miles to my job and back and live in Downey. Okay. Point E is I want to buy a home with a certain amount of down payment. And point F is I want to be able to find the home I want that matches my criteria, which was a 3 and 2, but you want to find that yard, that fenced off yard, that certain area that where it's at. So you got all these different things you want, and when you use hashtags to buy something, to look for something, that puts you there, here, there, here, there, there. It's like you have a chapter of a book. Okay? Now you read the book. I'm talking about a novel. You read a book. There's 30 chapters in this book. The first chapter is going to start you off. It's going to give you a little story about the book. It's just going to tell you a little bit about, open you up, get you started. You know, it's get you interested, get you started. Like you like the book. It's going to give you a few pages. I mean, it might be boring. It's first few pages. You may not like it. It might get redundant, right? It might get boring. Then you move into this end of the first chapter. They're going to give you something like a cliffhanger. You're going to want to read. You're going to want to read the second chapter and read it. And as soon as you're reading the second chapter, oh, okay, this is a novel. It's about this person doing whatever, and they're evolving, like a cook. The guy wants to be a cook. The person wants to be a cook, and he's a great home chef. He's making, everybody loves his dinners at home, or his friends, but he wants to embellish and go out there and find a better, more interesting platform out there, because he's out here and he's cooking for his family. He's making great dinners and everything for his family and his friends, but he wants to go out there and expand, and now he wants to become a chef, and he's going to school, he's learning, he's educating himself, and the book evolves into some guy becoming a great chef, or whatever he's doing, or whatever the book's about. Okay, so this is what it is about real estate. You want to read, what's your first chapter in your book? Your book is your real estate. Your book is your home money. What is your first chapter? I want to move out. I want to own something. That's your chapter. And you have your book. And your book is a process of you buying. And during this process time, what you're doing here is you're using these hashtags and using this stuff here in Zillow and TikTok and everything in TikTok. People do a lot of stuff, make a lot of money on TikTok, you know. And also, me as a real estate agent, realtor, can go out there and help you, because I want you to go on the internet and look up Irvine Whittier, real estate agent. How can I help you? What can I do for you? How do I get my business working with you? Okay. See, part of the hashtag, and you say, realtor life, open house, real estate investment, property for sale. Agent, real estate agent. You just type in my name, Joe Padovich, Padovich. I come up all over the MLS. I'm sorry, all over the internet. I'm the only Padovich that's a real estate agent in the state of California. Now, there's another Padovich back east. I think he's either a real estate agent or he's a lender. So the important thing about it is, when you're searching for a home, first thing is, like, how interesting is this? Like, years ago, they didn't have this kind of stuff for realtors. You know what I mean? They didn't have this kind of stuff. You had all kinds of stuff out here for looking, but now it's hashtags, it's AI. Everything's like, AI is incredible. Okay, it's incredible out there, you know. And when you're looking for that home, when you're looking for stuff that you want to be, you want to do, and you hashtag it, or you use the whatever different types of search engines you use, you can find something you want. Say, you know, I want this house here. What does this take? What is it going to take to get me this house? Well, if you go 949-439-0383, there's a lot of programs out there in the state of California to help you get into it, federal and state. And most important thing is, when you look at these hashtags from this stuff like TikTok and cities and all this other strategy, and the important thing about these hashtags is that it not only benefits me as an agent, but it benefits you. So we can meet each other in the middle. First thing you want to do is, see, some people go in there and say, you know what, Joe, I'm looking for a house that's rented. Used to be, I meet people at open house. People say, yeah, Joe, I want to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I want it to be 1 story. I don't want a pool. And I don't want to be by a freeway, and I don't want this, or I don't want that. So within about 10 minutes of research on the MLS, I can tell you everything that you need off the MLS. Now you can do it on Zillow or these other places and find everything and using hashtags. See, if you hashtag something, if you go to if you hashtag something, okay, real estate Downey, real estate LA County, 3 bedroom, 3 baths, 3 and 2, it's all gonna come up real quick. And it's gonna what it's gonna do, it's gonna overwhelm people. It's gonna make it so people are looking at something too much. So you gotta be able to know what you want. You gotta be able to size yourself down. You gotta be able to size your questions down and be able to be specific. Okay? Say for example, you work in downtown Los Angeles, but you don't want to live in downtown Los Angeles. And you don't want to live in the valley. So you put a circle there and you want to live 20 miles out. But you don't want to live in northern LA County. You don't want to live in Hollywood, the Westlake Village, Studio City, Ventura Boulevard. You don't want to live in that area. You want to live further out, like Covina, West Covina. Okay? So you find yourself your map, what you're looking for, and your price point, and you tie it in. But then you got to realize something. There's an important thing you got to realize. You can hashtag real estate, luxury real estate, dream homes, all that stuff. The important thing you got to look at when you purchase a home. Okay? When you buy a home, what's the important thing to do? Know your costs before you buy it. What are taxes? What are the things you have to pay out there? Is there any homeowners association or any kind of other community, any other community requirements that requires additional funds? So you might live in West Covina or Baldwin Park or Walnut, Belinda, those cities up in that area, up in San Gabriel Valley, and you work in downtown LA, and you're moving out here to West Covina, and you find that, oh, okay, but we can move in LA. It's cheaper. But you got to realize, Los Angeles might have special taxes, homeowners association fees, homeowners association dues, and things like that, and special community dues. That's a very important thing to understand when you're looking to buy real estate. You have to know where you're living, where you're moving, where you're going. Because the important thing about this is what? Before you live someplace and move someplace, you have to know these important things. You must understand the community moving in there and the cost. Like condominiums. Is there any special assessments coming up? Any master plans coming up? Anything coming up that is going to cost you money and it's going to be important for you to understand that. It's going to be very important for you to understand that. So when you use hashtags, tighten the hashtag up a little bit. Expand it out. Now, if you're like on TikTok, Twitter, all these places you could, look around, people find agents that way. Like I'm a true believer in real estate advertisement, where people click on ads. I believe in that stuff, but I don't do it. I believe in that because I want somebody to call me because they're interested in doing business with me at 949-439-0383. But the most important thing is, I want them to call me because they see me and they see me doing videos and stuff, and they okay, I like Joe. Because here's the thing, important thing real quick. There was a couple years ago, there was a man, some guy in Malibu, and he wrote a lot and does a lot of work in Malibu. He sold real estate through his webinars and educational stuff, So what I'm doing here right now is I'm educating you to a point. I'm also talking to you about real estate. Also talking about what to do, what to see, what you're looking at. Because you know what? When you just type in just listed, home hunting, real estate luxury, dream home, all that stuff when you type all that stuff in, it's going to be vast, a lot of stuff out there. You want to condense it down to the city. The first thing you do, look at the city you want to be in. Look at where you want to be. Look where you don't want to be. But the most important thing is, like, here's another thing right here. Let's look at $1 million listing. Now, used to be a TV show called $1 Million Listing. I'm not sure if they're out there. Real estate photography. Now they use what? AI now. When you go on the MLS, multiple listing service, They have what's out there. Yes, they have out there now. They have real estate photography that's been embellished by AI, and which has to be disclosed, obviously. But the thing about this is, there's all kinds of AI. You go, AI real estate. You know, now look at new home. Those are home builders, real estate investor, real estate agent. If you go like real estate agent Whittier, I should come up. Real estate marketing, that's me. Broker, that's me. Real estate tips, that's me, and it could be you. Because think about this: when you're buying real estate or selling real estate or investing in real estate, it's good that you understand what we do out here. Okay. Now there are people out there that are for sale by owners, and they got to be out there to market their property. Okay, they got to be out there selling and marketing their property in order to get a sale. So they got to use this hashtag. So FSBO should be one of the hashtags for sale by owner. You know, we talk about Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Now here's somebody's something about hashtags, real estate hashtags, market leaders. So this is for me as an agent, what you can do out there, you know, because thing is, when you use these hashtags, do I use the hashtags to find the buyers, the sellers, or do the sellers go out and use the hashtags to find me? Okay, because there's a meeting between these people. Okay, I'm meeting you, you're meeting me, and the important thing about this, I'm meeting you, you're meeting me, and we're both meeting through of this realm of real estate through real estate related or business related hashtags, okay, or trends or whatever. So we can meet if we meet in the middle. Like I'm real estate agent, realtor, Whittier real estate, for sale by sellers agent, buyers agent, Whittier, Joe Padovich, hashtag Joe Padovich, Padobich, and do all this stuff. I'm out there. So when you're gonna hashtag realtor life, you're gonna find me. Or when you do your Downey real estate, you're gonna find me. Because the thing about this is, when you do a hashtag, you want something. What does that mean? What does that mean when you do the real estate hashtag? What exactly does that mean? What does that get? If you just type in real estate, you're gonna get vast, like I was talking a little while ago. If you type in realtor life, you're gonna get certain things. But how do you tighten it up, like we talked about a little bit ago? How do you tighten it up so much that you get Joe Padovich? You get me. I said, yeah, I'm gonna call this guy. You know, I like his way he's. I like him. He's all right. I think he can get me a house and help me find something, and he can help me sell my home. How do you do that? How do you use the right hashtags? And the important thing about this, when you're using real estate hashtags, like I just said, you got to tighten it up. You know what I mean? You got to tighten it up, but you also got to, not only when you tighten it up, you got to know exactly what you're looking for. Like, here's an example. You walk into the supermarket, and you walk back to the milk cartons, the milk freezer, and there's like 50 different milks in there. 50, like chocolate milk, skim milk, whatever, and lactose, non-lactose, whatever kind of milk. And you're walking through there, and it's the same thing when you're looking for real estate. And you think to yourself, what kind of milk do I want? So, but when you walk into the store, you kind of know you already want the milk. When you go on the hashtags, you already know what? You already know you want to buy a house or sell a house. You already know you want to do something with real estate and sell it. But when you go to the milk, same thing about milk, when you go buy the gallon of milk or pint, whatever, and you walk it back there, you already know you want the milk. question is, what kind of milk do you want? What type of milk do you want? How is that milk going to be? What kind of milk do you want to drink or give your kids or whatever? What kind of milk is it going to be that you're going to go to the store and get? But you know one thing it is. It's not what kind of milk you want. You already know what kind of milk that you don't want. Okay? You don't want chocolate milk. You don't want almond milk. You don't want this kind of milk. You don't want that kind of milk. You don't want a gallon of milk. Okay? So you go in there, I don't want a gallon of a house. I don't want 4 bedrooms and 3 baths and doubles. I don't want a gallon of a house. I want a half a gallon house. I want 3 and 2, not 4 and 4 or 4 and 3. So I know what size house I want. So you know that. I don't want a pint either. I don't want a 2 and 1. So I know for sure I don't want a pint of milk and I don't want a gallon of milk. I want a half a gallon of milk. Right there. You just saved yourself some time because you know you don't want a pint and you know you don't want a gallon. Okay? And you don't want this certain flavor. So you know that you only want a half a gallon. Okay? Some people get a quart, but we'll stick with that. Okay? So you want a half a gallon of milk. Now the half a gallon of houses is going to be there. So you got your houses, you don't want the gallon of house or the pint of the house. You want the half gallon house, which is going to go from 100 houses in the city of Downey down to about 50. Okay? Now, you don't want skim, you want a half a gallon of milk. But the half a gallon of milk, you don't want skim milk. You don't want this kind of milk. You don't want this kind of milk or that kind of milk. So you know that you don't want to pay full price. So you want a store brand milk. So that eliminates Knudsen and the name brand. So here's the thing is, you want to buy a house that's not name brand, that's not brand new, that you can get a deal on. You're not going to buy it from like a D.R. Horton or Toll Brothers. You're not going to buy a brand new house, brand new, and have to deal with all kinds of taxes, all kinds of other stuff, and all kinds of other things you got to deal with, and taxes and new homes or discounts. You just want a house that's about 10 to 25 years old. So you just eliminated more milk in the freezer. You don't want to buy from a manufacturer like Knudsen or Dairy Farms or something like that. You want to buy a store brand, like Walmart brand milk or whatever store. So you want that. But you want to make sure that the milk doesn't expire for 10 days. Okay? So you want this kind of milk to expire for 10 days. So it means is you want a house that's relatively in good condition, that's about built 10 to 20 years ago, maybe a little less. It's internet ready. It's Wi-Fi ready. Everything's ready to go. It's moving ready, but it needs a little bit of work. It needs paint. It might need some carpet clean. It needs some paint. You might have to clear cobwebs off the house. You might have to clean the floors. Okay? So that milk you're going to get is going to be a little lower. Okay? So you're going to get the milk that's going to be a half a gallon of milk. That's going to be a store brand, but it might be the cheaper level of store brand. You might want to get the store brand that's not like full milk. It is a milk that is skim milk or it's low fat or something. So it's instead of it being $2.95 a gallon of milk, it's going to be like $2.15 or $2. So you're looking for that stuff. You're willing to do some work. So when you look into real estate, look at how you buy milk or anything at the store. When you buy cereal, I can't really use an analogy with cereal because cereal is pretty much priced the same way it is, but milk is vast stuff with milk going on. So when you're looking at buying real estate, think of it as shopping for a gallon of milk. I don't want a pint. I don't want a gallon. I want a half a gallon, and I don't want to pay full price. I don't want to buy the manufacturer's name brand product. I just want a gallon of milk. I don't need it to be this or that. I can, so you buy the gallon of milk. It says paying $3.42 for it or $4 for the milk. You're paying $2.15 for the milk. When you're buying real estate, when you're selling real estate, especially when you're buying, look at it. Look at it how you're buying a gallon of milk. So when you're hashtagging, drop it down like this, get like this, be like this right here. So when you're buying your stuff, you know what you want. Okay, man, I want to thank you so much. This is Joe Padovich, Padovich. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I thank you for coming to my real estate stuff here and my YouTube account. Remember, hashtag works, but you have to know how to use them properly. I thank you very much. And this is Joe Padovich, 949-439, signing off. And have a great day, my friends.